Hey guys, this is the Disney Dude, and this is the Weekly Disney, and we've got a lot of news to cover because I've been out for like a few weeks, so we have a lot of news to cover today, so let's get straight into it. So, as always, pretty much annually, the annual pass, parking, and the Magic Band prices have been raised at Walt Disney World effective today, the 16th of October in 2018. Now, they always do this, and people shouldn't be surprised when they do eventually raise prices, because they always do. Now, the Magic Band prices have been raised $30, just the solid color Magic Bands, not any of the special ones, like the Epcot 35th one or the Star Wars ones, or whichever. Those haven't been raised, but the normal color Magic Bands have. And also, parking has also been raised. Pretty much almost everything in Disney World has been raised. So, and this is some pretty recent news. So, yeah, this is effective today. Parking and the annual passes have gone up as always. Nothing much new there, because it always happens, and you just don't know when in the year it happens. It happens, but you don't know when. So you should always be expecting it at some point. Just keep on the lookout for those updates. And operating hours for Animal Kingdom attractions have been are being reduced. Kilimanjaro Safaris is now closing at 7:45 p.m. and will move to a 6:30 p.m. closing beginning in November. Now, the Kilimanjaro Safaris has always closed a bit earlier, but the 6:30, that's really early. And since the Animal Kingdom had just turned into a night park, it's really weird to see these really good rides closing so early. And that's not the only one. In November, or that from the last one, the Maharaja Jungle Trek is not going to be opened in the park until 10 a.m. and will be closing at 5 p.m. Now, that has also always closed very early, mostly because the animals, that happens a lot. Things will close early because the animals are tired and they put them to bed or feed them. But then again, feeders are left hidden, so they eat spontaneously throughout the day. But you don't see it because it's magic. But that's not the only thing. Kali River Rapids, the water ride, the water raft ride, and Dinosaur are delaying opening until 9:30 as well. Don't know what that's about. But 9:30, that's only a 30-minute change. And then closing at 7:30. Again, I don't know what's with these. Now, these changes aren't very massive, but they are still changes. Like, I think the park usually closes around 8, maybe 9. So it's not a lot of time being missed, but I think they just try to wrap up in the night. And also, finally, Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail is opening later at 9:30 and closing early at 4:30. Now, that is a big change, because the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail had always been open until like 6, maybe. A bit later than 5. So that's a really big one right there. And it's, I don't know why, no one knows why these changes are coming, but it's probably for budgetary reasons. A lot of things are happening currently at the Disney parks because of budgetary reasons, so who knows, there's just been a bunch of budget cuts, and no one knows why, or how, or not how, but just why. I don't understand it, and no one else should understand it either. And moving over to Epcot, moving away from the Animal Kingdom, at Epcot, or no, sorry, not Epcot, there will be, this is just a general park, or Walt Disney World, news. There will be a new solar power facility at Walt Disney World set to open by the end of 2018. And this solar power facility is supposedly supposed to, power 2 parks. Now, if it's going to power 2 parks, it's got to be one heck of a power plant, because solar power doesn't make as much energy as normal power does. So being a solar power plant, it's going to either need to be big, or it's going to need some kind of something to generate more power, because it's supposed to be powering 2 parks. And 2 parks is a lot. We don't know which 2 parks, but it'll power 2 parks. And that's all we know about that. Yeah, tell me what you think about this in the comments. Tell me whether you're for solar power, or not for solar power. That's very opinionated. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on solar power coming to the Disney parks. Now, solar power isn't very new for the Disney parks, because of on the Universe of Energy, and I'll get to this in a minute. There used to be solar powers on top of the Universe of Energy that used to power the ride. That's been an instance of solar power being generated for the attractions. And another one is the big Mickey solar field over by Epcot. So solar power isn't a stranger to the Disney parks, but there will be a new solar power facility, so look out for that. And this is a really big one, at least for me. Spaceship Earth will close for over 2 years as part of the massive overhaul of Epcot's Future World. I love Spaceship Earth, and I don't know if I could if I could go to an Epcot where Spaceship Earth wouldn't be open for 2.5 years. It's speculated about 2.5 years. I just said over 2 years because that's just easier. But more detailed, 2.5 years. That's a very long time for downtime. That is a very long time, especially for a Disney park ride. Like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be open in less than a year or less, and there's things that are happening in the Disney parks that'll be open in less than 2 years, like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway over at Hollywood Studios, and there will be a Ratatouille ride coming in 2020. So this is some really big news here. I don't know it's not very detailed on what the changes will be, but apparently every scene will be getting a massive overhaul. Like, all the scenes, scene by scene, they will be massively changing things. And hopefully, maybe, I would love to see them have a new narrator for the ride. I would personally hope for Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, to kind of tie in the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster and Spaceship Earth together, and to tie in this whole Epcot story. So I would like to see Chris Pratt as Peter Quill / Star-Lord to narrate the ride, because Dame Judi Dench, has been the narrator for quite a long time for Spaceship Earth. I think at least 2003, maybe? I don't know, but before that, was Walter Cronkite and Jeremy Irons. Some very interesting people. And I would just really hope that they would get a new narrator for that, because if they're gonna have the ride down for 2.5 years, you gotta give me some more than just some updated scenes. Like, us Disney fans would need some kind of new narrator, or, but one of the things, that has been said is that the ending scene where you look, back on Earth, the big projection in the dome, that would be getting a major, huge overhaul. Like, the scene would just completely change. And the post-show will be different as well. Like, the whole thing is just getting a complete update. They might update the exterior as well. The outside of Spaceship Earth, the big, geodesic sphere. But you know, that is all for the future. Tell me what you think about Spaceship Earth being closed for 2 years. You already know my thoughts. I'm not very happy about this. I mean, I'm always happy for change, but 2 years is just, 2.5 years is just a really long time for something to be closed. I don't know if I can recall anything that has been closed for 2.5 years just for an update. Let me know in the comments if you can think of anything that might be down for 2.5 years to renovate. I mean, maybe in Disneyland, the Rivers of America, or the Disneyland Railroad, maybe, but I don't think that was even close to 2.5 years. I think that was more on the lines of 1 year or so. It was definitely not 2 years, and it definitely wasn't gone for that long of a time. So tell me what you think in the comments below about Spaceship Earth closing for 2.5 years. That is really interesting. And then on to our next piece of news. The Disneyland Resort has officially canceled the plans for the 4th resort. Now, I have also covered this before, and I think I said that there was a rumor that the hotel was being canceled. I can't remember. I have very short memory time. But, it has now officially been canceled. Like, it's no longer just a rumor. It's officially gone. The plans have already been scrapped and put away. Now, this hotel was looking to be very promising. It was going to be in the downtown Disney area, and it was going to be really big. It was going to have another monorail station. It was going to be a really big project. And they had already started, they already did close a few restaurants and shops just so this hotel could happen, to clear the space. And then it just gets canceled. So now those businesses are out, and there's nothing going there. They'll probably have to find, either they'll get them back, or they'll find new businesses to put there. There will also be a major overhaul of downtown Disney in general, but I'm not a very big expert on Disneyland, so I can't elaborate much. I've only been to Disneyland once in my life, and going to downtown Disney was a very, very short period of time when I was there. I did not go there much. I pretty much went to the parks and enjoyed the parks while I could, which I suggest you should too, because Disneyland is a pretty cool place. And things are changing in Disneyland as well. Moving on to our, actually, thinking of changing stuff at Disneyland, the Disneyland Jedi training is to close. Late this year, very late this year, the Jedi training trials is closing in Tomorrowland. Now, if you don't know what this is, if you're a Disney World person, then you would think of this as the Jedi Temple training over at Hollywood Studios. that's pretty much what it is. It's just in Disneyland and in Tomorrowland. But I think this might have to either do with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but the one in the Jedi training here is closing, or isn't closing, yet. They haven't announced the closure for that yet. So, it might not have to do with Galaxy's Edge. It might have to do with, again, budgetary reasons. Cost for live actors. That might be one of the reasons they do this. And yeah, it's really kind of sad. I didn't watch it while I was there, but I seen the one here at Disney World, and that is pretty cool. And one of the cooler things about the Jedi training over there is that it's the stage lifts up from underground to be the stage. Like, there's a whole underground corridor right where that stage is, and the stage comes up whenever the shows happen, and that was really cool. I actually managed to catch that happening. But I didn't sit down and watch it because there are plenty of other things to do in Disneyland than that. Like checking out the classic dark ride attractions over in Fantasyland. That is a thing you could be doing, not watching that. Because you could, especially if you're visiting, you could find it over here. So you don't need to sit down and watch it over in Disneyland. And going back to Epcot, the Universe of Energy solar panels that were on the top, on the roof, have been completely removed for the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster at Epcot. So, the Universe of Energy Pavilion is going through a total overhaul and retheme. Almost all the original elements of the original ride have completely gone. The front has already been torn off. The sign up in front is gone. And that was one of the last remaining remnants of the original ride, which is now gone. So, thanks, Disney. Thanks for removing a day one attraction. But it was outdated and it needed to go. So, yeah, that's what's happening in Epcot. And then I've talked about this next topic before. I told you that this was going to be a long one because I have to cover 2 weeks of news because I was out for a little bit. So the Anaheim living wage measure, like I talked about in our last video, would not apply to Disneyland. So the minimum wage will not be $15 at Disneyland, except for resort people there. It will not go up to, it won't be $15, it won't go up to $18, so I think that this is pretty good for Disney, because, if they have to pay their workers more, they'll either be firing people, or people just get shorter, working times, because they try to keep to their original, margins as much as possible, economic stuff, that I'm not going to get into all of today, because this is a Disney channel, and I'm not talking about economics. And then, Disney is working on a live-action version of Lilo and Stitch. Now, actually, I just realized, why wouldn't I put this in the movies segment, but, you know, I've already said it. So, yeah, Disney is currently working on a live-action Lilo and Stitch, which is a good thing for all you old Disney Channel fans, because Disney Channel, Lilo and Stitch in general has just been a big pop culture, movement, for a while, and Stitch has always just been a pretty cool icon. And so, yeah, tell me what you think down below about Lilo and Stitch, the live-action one that Disney is working on, and tell me what you think of all the other news in this video. And now, we will be moving on to our... Hey guys. guys, I am back with the red carpets of Hollywood for our movies segment. And now, the main part this week, or the main point about the movies this week, is the fact that there has been both a poster and a trailer released for the live-action Aladdin, which is one of the movies, the live-action remakes that I have been most waiting for. And let me tell you, this trailer is amazing. I will probably leave a link to it down in the down in the details, or I don't know what it is anymore. My mind's just gone blank. But I'll leave it down below, and if you want to check it out for yourself. It's a real gem. The music is great. There's this one part of the music that I could just listen to constantly on a loop. It's just like the Friend Like Me music, and I'm just like, yep, that's what I need right there. Now this has been, the trailer was really cool, and then, or before that, Will Smith had, who was playing the genie, Will Smith, he had just released a new poster for the Aladdin live-action remake. Now, it's one of those posters that is just like the other live-action remakes, like the Beauty and the Beast and the Cinderella one. It just has a prop from the movie. It has a prop from the movie, and it looks all magical and stuff. It was a really cool poster. It kind of reminded me of the poster for the Broadway show of Aladdin. So, yeah, that was a really cool thing there. But the trailer was just fantastic. I'll leave a link down below so you can check it out. And then in other TV and movie news, Jon Favreau's, he's the director of the exclusive Star Wars TV series that is going to be called The Mandalorian, which is a really cool name. I think it's going to be taking on a planet called Mandaloria or something, but it's going to focus on the Mandalorians after, almost directly after, or a few years after the events of Return of the Jedi, which means that this won't be near the new series, the new trilogy, or the old trilogy, or the new old trilogy. I don't know what to call that one. The prequel trilogy, I guess. So that'll be taking, it might even end up being its own series trilogy. I would like to see that come out of it. But there are really no details at this point about the characters or what it will entail. But we do know it's called The Mandalorian, and that the set, and there were set pictures that kind of looked like Tatooine kind of sets. So we'll see what comes up in the show. As I said before, this is going to be on Disney's exclusive streaming service, so if you're going to want to watch this live-action Star Wars TV show, you're going to have to get that to see it. Because it's probably not going to be available anywhere else, because if Disney's going to try to pull you in from Netflix to get to their streaming service, they need all the exclusive stuff that they can get on the site. Along with the live-action Lady and the Tramp, which will also be coming off around there, or coming on the site around the same time. And also, the Disney Fox deal, which I'm very excited for, and that I've covered a lot. The Disney Fox deal is going to be finalized, is said to be finalized by New Year's Day 2019. Which means that that's not far off. We could be seeing this happen, like, right as the ball drops, you know, sign it. Yeah, it's yours, Disney. Do whatever you want. And I think their president is coming over to Disney to work for them, I think, as a higher-up. Not 100% sure about that. But it will be finalized on New Year's Day 2019. Which means that things could start to happen very early into that year. Maybe we'll see the streaming service early that year. I don't expect to see it. I expect to see it in late 2019, which is really sad because I really like the idea of the streaming service, and if it's what I think it's going to be, then it could be. I could see it being very popular. Disney Play, I think, is the name, or that is the name, Disney Play. Now I've said this before. I think so, but I don't know why they don't just carry over their streaming service from the UK, called Disney Life, and just carry over that same system. Literally, it could be literally that. It's only available in the UK for some reason. I don't know why they just tested it over there, because there are plenty of people in the United States who would love a Disney streaming service, such as me. But I don't know why they don't just make a simple change to their website and just bring it over. And Disney Life is pretty popular over in the UK too. And I think it's pretty affordable. So I don't know why they wouldn't just carry that service, keep the name, and just change it from pounds over to dollars, or wherever you are. Maybe you're in Canada, who knows. But I just don't know why they don't just make that simple fix and have it out already. Because that would just be a simple fix. And it could be done very easily. But, you know, I'm still excited to see what they have in store for us in 2019. I'm pretty sure there will be a bunch of Fox content on there as well. Like, maybe we'll even see The Simpsons on the Disney streaming service, because The Simpsons is Fox, so maybe that'll be one of the TV shows we see on there. And people might be excited to go get it. Because people love The Simpsons. I've talked about Disney and The Simpsons before. I think I talked about Disney, Universal, and The Simpsons. I don't think Disney will do anything with The Simpsons in the parks, because they don't need to, and they've already got Universal on their back with Marvel. So I don't think they need any more trouble with another IP that Universal already has. So yeah, that's it for this week. We don't have any questions. Please, I want your questions. I want your questions, your comments, anything. We have not been getting many comments lately, and I would like to see some more, so I can give you guys some shoutouts. Yeah, hashtag shoutout. No, that's not an actual thing. But yeah, leave a comment and I will give you a shoutout. Whether you're a fellow YouTuber or you're just a person. Give me a comment and I'll read it on the show. Yeah, please leave a comment. It really it really helps me, and it helps you. Help me, help you. See? It's a two-way street here. And also, if you like this video, share it with your friends. Share it on Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter where or when. If you liked it, please go share it. That would help a lot. Getting the word about the Weekly Disney out there could do a lot for the show, and it could help me improve. So, yep, that's it for this week. That is all the news. Now, I always get kind of mad when I do these videos, because, like, whenever I do these videos, it'll always be, there will always be a topic, a very important Disney news topic, that comes out after the video comes out, and I'm just like, darn it, I wish I could have gotten that in there, because that is a huge topic. Like, the one about Spaceship Earth, that had just come out, like, right after my video went up, and I'm just like, are you serious? So yeah, that's the only thing that really irritates me about doing these videos, is that I do this, and then something else comes up, and I'm just, like, out on it, and then I have to cover it next week. It just makes me a little ticked off. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, and this has been the Disney Dude. Wait, let me make sure I've gotten everything in. like, subscribe, share. Please share, it really helps. And do all that juicy stuff down below. Check out the Aladdin trailer if you want to see that. It was very, very good. But we didn't see any Will Smith. That's the one problem. No Will Smith in the trailer. So you'll have to wait probably until the movie to see your boy Will Smith as the genie. I hope he's a good singer because he's going to have to do quite a bit of singing as the genie. I'm looking at you, Will Smith. You better not fail me. So, yeah. Like, subscribe, share, do all that juicy stuff down below. Check out the link down below. And this has been the Disney Dude and the Weekly Disney. And that is a wrap.